Are you serious? Are you serious? Well, it's getting very serious right now in the European Union, in the NATO countries, and of course, Russia. Now, earlier today, I did a video in which I gave you the response by Germany, Slovakia, Czechia. Come on. You know what I'm talking about. Russia, UK Foreign Secretary of Romania, also Romania themselves, NATO, Ukraine, Poland, and a very weak response, in my opinion, by the United States. Well, now, and Russia said, we don't even know anything about a drone. We don't even know what you're talking about. We don't know about a drone. And that's crazy because they already know that it's a Russian drone, and these things don't accidentally hit stuff. They have to be directed. So Dmitry Medvedevich, who is the, well, first of all, I should say that, you know, I forgot about my little disclaimer here, so I'll throw this out before I go any further. If I can find it. Give me 1 second. This is definitely a PBT moment. It's ridiculous. Disclaimer, everybody. Disclaimer. Some of the content and information of this video is for entertainment only. All right. And don't forget, Mike Lindell's really given us a great opportunity at MyPillow. Just go to www.mypillow.com/Paul. That's www.mypillow.com/Paul. Use the promo code Paul because there is incredible. Mike Lindell loves Paul Begley Privacy Ministries. He has put together. See, when you click on that link, it takes you to that page. And then that's where you use the promo code Paul. That's where you get these incredible savings. Unbelievable. And a portion of what you purchase goes to Paul Begley Prophecy Ministries because Mike Lindell wants to bless it. So anyway, he's a good guy. And he's running for governor now of Minnesota. What? Tim Walz, you better dance on out of there, dude. There's $9 billion missing, but that's not what this video is about. All right, let's get focused. Let's get focused, okay? I told you, entertainment only. So here's what Dmitry Medvedevich, the former president of Russia, Putin's key advisor, warns that the European Union, after that drone hit Romania, quote, the peaceful sleep, it's over. Dmitry Medvedevich, now the deputy chair of the Security Council of Russia and the country's former president, cautioned the European Union on Friday to be vigilant amid the war, he said, with Russia that Europe has entered into after your errant Russian drone crashed in Romania. What do you mean? It's Russia's drone. He said, quote, citizens of the European Union countries, you should realize your authorities have unilaterally entered into a war with Russia, said the senior Russian official. He wrote this on his social platform X. He posted it. Quote, so be vigilant and don't be surprised by anything. The peaceful sleep is over. And you know who to ask why. Now, I'm thinking, he just said you've entered into a war with Russia. I think Russia entered into a war with the European Union. It is Russia that attacked Ukraine. It is Russia who sent the drone in and that was hit, that hit in Romania. But anyway, what is this guy doing? Is he drunk on vodka? I mean, I'm starting to wonder because who in the world would go on X and say, you have entered into a war with Russia? Citizens of the European Union countries, you should realize your authorities have unilaterally entered into a war with Russia. Who would say that? Especially when you're the former president of the United States. What do you mean by it's over? What's over? The peaceful sleep. I'll show you the headline. Putin's advisor warns the EU after drone hits Romania, whose drone, of course, was Russia's. He warns the European Union and says the peaceful sleep is over. In other words, you entered into a war. You want a war. You got a war. and the days of your peaceful sleep is over. That's crazy. Now, Medvedev is a very close ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin. He made this warning after Romanian authorities said a Russian drone that was part of an overnight attack on Ukraine also came into Romania and hit an apartment building in eastern Romania, injuring 2 people. One of those people is severely burned, may not make it. 70 people had to be evacuated. NATO condemned this incident in its member country as reckless and reaffirmed its commitment to defend its alliance territory. So NATO condemned it. We will continue to enhance our readiness to deter and defend against any threat, including from drones, said the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. He wrote this on X after speaking with Romanian President, and Russia's reckless behavior is a danger to all of us. They continue to target civilians and civilian infrastructures across Ukraine. And last night, they showed it yet again that the implications of their illegal war of aggression don't stop at the border. Now they've hit Romania. Medvedev previously threatened the EU diplomats in Ukraine's capital, Kiev, and the Russian Foreign Ministry demanded that the foreign nationals leave Ukraine in the wake of Russia's warnings of a large-scale attack on the city. What's that mean? The EU has said it will maintain its diplomatic presence in Kiev unchanged, despite Russia's warning. So Russia is telling the European Union, you better get your offices out of Ukraine, out of the capital of Ukraine, which is Kiev. Russia is warning the European Union, you better get your diplomats out of your offices in Kiev. Russia has launched increasingly intense attacks on Ukraine in recent weeks. Dozens of people have been killed by missiles and drones assault last weekend when President Vladimir Putin ordered the strikes of killer drones into the general population. And according to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov spoke with Secretary of State Marco Rubio over the phone last Monday to try to discuss the conflict. That was Monday. That's like 6 years ago. Monday is like a year. Every day is like a year now. Every day now is fulfilling prophecy. Every moment, the birthing pains of the coming of the Lord are getting stronger. The contractions are getting stronger. I'm telling you, now you have the former president of Russia, the current Security Council of Russia's deputy chair, Dmitry Medvedev, who's no doubt going to be the heir apparent one who takes over Russia after Putin's gone. And he's telling the European Union, you better get vigilant, people, amid this war with Russia. And you need to find out who got you into this war. And you better get ready because you're at war with Russia. Citizens of the European Union countries, you should realize your authorities have unilaterally entered into a war with Russia. So what they're saying, what he is saying, he's not saying NATO. He's saying EU. There's a difference. The European Union is about 28 countries in Europe that make up the European Union. NATO is most of all those countries and the United States of America and, unfortunately, Turkey, and I think even Japan might be in there. I'm not sure. I have to go back and look. There's other nations outside of the European Union that is part of it, including the United Kingdom. Okay? So what Russia is saying is we're at war with EU. They're not saying they're at war with NATO, but NATO is saying, you better stop this or else. That's what basically is being said by the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. And that's what he said. So it's over, okay? The peaceful sleep is over. It's over, folks. It is over. That's what Putin and the Russian, are they the Russian Federation? I think they are. That's what the Russian Federation is saying. Germany is ready to respond. Well, you got to know why. Know your history. Because after World War II, half of Germany belonged to the Soviet Union, the USSR. And they split Berlin right down the middle. The eastern part of Germany became Russian communist rule. The western side was a free enterprise, capital market, free enterprise system, a market, a democracy of some sort, and part of, the West, the United States, and everybody else over to the West. Between 1945, when they drew the lines, and the year 1991, the Western Germans lived in poverty and in oppression under communist rule. And while they were suffering just over the wall, Western Germany was flourishing with a free enterprise, free democracy system that we enjoy in America. Now, but in 1991, Ronald Reagan said it in 1989, and it finally fell in 1991 when Ronald Reagan said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Okay, after he said that, 2 years later, the wall came down, and Western Berlin and Western Germany were free, and Germany was completely made Germany. There's no way in this world that the German people want to go back under Russian Federation. No way. No way. And that's why Friedrich Merz, the chancellor of Germany, said this drone incident shows that Russia's willingness to escalate. Okay? I condemn Russia. So guys, and so now President Donald Trump has just called an emergency he's situation room. Here I'm going to show you Russians dropping air defense systems, and they're installing them on the top of their tallest skyscrapers in case there's an attack by NATO or Ukraine or all of them together and try to blow up their skyscrapers in the city of Moscow. Okay. This is starting. And I'm going to tell you something. Mike from the World last night. Great show last night. Great show. Mike from the World said Russia did it before anybody said anything. There was not one news article. Nobody, but Mike knew because he's part of the intelligence community. He came on this show and declared Russia did it. We know. We had that drone. We have the piece, they have the forensic, what they call forensic analysis. They know it was Russia. It came from Russia. It's Russian made. You do the math. So they knew Russia did it. And it took till this morning before the condemnation or the what have you, blaming Russia. And Putin's response was, we don't even know what you're talking about. What drone? We didn't have a drone. We don't know what you're doing. We don't know what you're talking about. And that was the response of Russia. But here's what I'm wanting to know. Where is the United Nations? Why haven't they called an emergency meeting of the Security Council to look Russia in the eye and ask them, what are you doing? Why are you attacking Romania? Or at least give us an excuse. Tell us that you got a weird drone that went off on its own, or AI took control of it and AI decided. Tell us something, but don't just sit there and act like you don't know. And then when the people are upset in the Western world and they start saying, what are you doing? Then you send out your former president, your current deputy chairman of the Security Council of Russia, and he belligerently And I think that's the right word. Is that the right word, Lexi? Belligerently. Is that a word? Thank you. She said, yeah. Belligerently began to point fingers at the European Union, said, you need to realize that unilaterally, your leaders brought you into a war with Russia. What are you talking about, Russia? You fired the drone. What are you talking about, Putin? You attacked Ukraine. And I already know there's a few people who are upset at me probably because they think that somehow Russia has a right to attack the NATO countries, that they because they're closing in on them. That's the company line out there. No. 1945, and now we're in 2026, and the western side of the world has never fired a shot at Russia until, and Ukraine's not even part of NATO, okay? Since 1945, there's been no aggressive moves toward Russia. It is Russia who invaded Ukraine. It is Russia who's been pushing and talking and writing Putin wrote a 12-page manifesto. Do I need to go get it and read it again? Why am I doing the media's job in the first place? I'm just some little preacher from the cornfields of Indiana. And yes, they did win the national championship. I'm just from the cornfields of Indiana. And I got to break this down like this? And my granddaughter's got to help research it for me? What's going on? Where is the media? So this is why Jesus said, when you see these things, he said, pray that you be worthy to escape the hour of temptation that's coming upon the world. Jesus said, look, when you see, you'll see signs in the sun, the moon, the stars, and distress of nation with perplexity. The sea and the waves are going to be roaring. And men's hearts are going to fail them for fear, for looking after those things coming upon the earth, for the power of heaven to be shaken. Folks, this is starting to get really serious here. The Bible tells us that there is prophetic, very prophetic warning signs of what's taking place and what's going to go on. The birthing pains of the end of days, literally. The birthing pains of the end of days. And Jesus was asked the question. Jesus was asked the question while they were sitting on the Mount of Olives by the disciples, and they said, Rabbi, or teacher, can you tell us the signs of thy coming and the end of the world? Can you tell us what signs to look for that's coming to the end? And Jesus began to go through the process telling them, folks, pre-order the book because I actually talk about what's happening right now. See, I can't even get the book out fast enough. The prophecies are happening that fast. It's unbelievable. The wars, the potential Ezekiel 38 war that's next. Forget Psalms 93. That's over. That one's over. All that threatened and confederacy and the nations teaming up against Israel, that we've got that one. Now and next could be the battle of Ezekiel 38. That could be next. Or World War III could be next. That's what happens in Revelation chapter 9 after Apollyon comes out of the bottomless pit. I had the vision. I seen him come out of the pit. I seen an angel with a key let him out. I seen the demons of hell come out. And that was in July of 2021. Putin then attacked Ukraine in February of 2022. And then, of course, Israel was attacked by Hamas in October the 7th, 2023. And here we are now, the president of Russia telling the European Union that the peaceful sleep is over. The peaceful sleep is over. In other words, your time of peace, your time of rest, your time of sleeping and slumbering has come to an end, and it's your fault that we're getting ready to take a run at NATO. Folks, I'm telling you now, the reason you see the passion The reason you see the passion on me is because I know that millions of souls are at risk. Millions of lives are at risk if some crazy lunatic pulls a trigger somewhere. And you got little Kim Jong-un, little rocket man going boom, 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 pushing green buttons. I mean, he could be the guy. You don't know what rogue group could fire a tactical nuke. Who knows who's got what? I mean, there's weapons floating around everywhere now. We're living in the end times. We're living in the last days. I'm not trying to preach any fear. I'm not preaching. I'm reading what should be read on your mainstream media. But because they are so in the tank for the beast system, for the mark of the beast system, and they are salivating. I'm telling you, big media could be one of the 10 kings of Revelation. Somebody representing big media could be one of the kings. You got to get my book. You got to order it right now. Pre-order Trump versus the Beast. Okay. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the passion. No, I'm not. I mean, seriously, we need this. We need the passion right now. We need to know what's going to happen. We really do. Okay. Because, we're running out of time. We really are. I better get a song because I'm preaching too hard. I'm preaching too loud. There's 777 people watching live right now. This is a spontaneous broadcast, not scheduled, but the people are here. And just think if YouTube would send a notification to all 381,000 subscribers, there'd be 40,000 people here right now. See, this is what they're afraid of. They can't handle the truth. They can't handle the fact that we know what's going on. We're not sitting over here sleeping on the job. We know what's going on. The pastors, there are pastors who know what's happening. Pastor Melvin Whittington, he knows what's going on. There are pastors who do know what's going on and are not afraid to tell it. And so we better do our job, especially God gave us a platform to tell it from. So I better do my job. You know, I answer to Jesus Christ directly. He is my CEO. I have complete straight line access to the throne. He gives me direction. He gives me correction. He gives me orders. And I better be listening. I am listening. That's why I'm right here, right now. That's why we're in the shape we're in, folks. Wow. That's why we're in the shape we're in. Because the prophecy, you can't stop prophecy. You just can't stop it. You can get right with God, which is fulfillment of prophecy. For John said, I saw a number that no man could number coming down from God out of heaven, prepared like a bride adorned for her husband. Are you in that number? Are you in that? Is it over?
I'm so scared for this crooked generation. You even find faith in the earth when you bring down revelation. Forgive us now.
This is the Salvation Station.
The sins of our youth, worshiping the idols that knew everything but the truth.
It's getting crazy out there.
Teach us.
I'm going to play Melvin's song next. I'm going to play Pastor Melvin's song next. You better get ready. Get right with God.
Show us now, we still have the time. We need you, Yeshua.
Yes, we do, Lord. Oh, my.
Holy, holy, hallelujah. We need you, Yeshua. Holy, holy, hallelujah. We abandon everything to follow you, our King.
What is going on?
Gold and silver in the streets. How much will
We see before the fire falls. Lord, could this really be the last altar call? We need your blood over the doorpost of our hearts. Anoint us with your fiery love as the praise and worship starts. We need you, Yeshua. Holy, holy, hallelujah. We need you, Yeshua. Holy, holy, hallelujah.
We abandoned everything to follow you, our King. We throw our gold and silver in the streets. Oh, we abandoned everything to follow you, our King.
It's getting intense.
We throw our gold and silver.
They're starting to threaten one another. The saber rattling has begun. And on the brink of World War III, President Trump is in the Situation Room right now, supposedly talking about what to do with Iran. But you can know that the Russian crisis is also happening. You can know both are happening. Dear Lord, have mercy. And then there's China. We need a miracle, Lord. We need your power, Lord.
Everything to follow you, our King. We throw our gold and silver in the street. We abandoned everything to follow you, our King. We throw our gold and silver.
Turkey's threatening Israel. I know. They do that. They do that quite often. Pastor Melvin Whittington's wonderful song, Get Ready. Man, I tell you, this is a right now word. It's a right now message in this song. What are you going to do?
Can you feel the earth beneath you tremble with fear? Can you hear the Spirit calling? Judgment is near. Can you see the signs appearing in the heavens above? It's time to get down on our knees and go back to our first love. Can you feel the sting of birth pains? The child's almost here.
Glory!
Hear the mountains, can you hear them rumble? Hearts failing with fear. Can you see the water rising and the fires burning bright? Time to get your house in order. Make sure your heart is right. Oh, get ready. It won't be long now. Get ready. He's coming in the clouds. In the twinkling of an eye, He's gonna split the eastern sky and we'll be gone. Get ready, it can't be very long. Get ready, soon we'll sing that song that the angels cannot sing, because it's only the redeemed. He'll wipe our tears away.
Think about
We'll
it.
be with the Lord to stay. Get ready.
Are you ready? Are you ready? People got saved last night. Maybe you need to give your life to Jesus Christ. Maybe this is the hour, this is the time, this is the moment when we cry out to God in the spirit of repentance.
Can you feel the earth beneath you tremble with fear? Can you hear the Spirit calling, saying judgment is near? Can you see the signs appearing in the heavens above? Time to get down on our knees. Got to go back to our first love. Get ready. Soon we'll hear the trumpet blast.
Woo!
Get ready. The King is coming back at last.
We'll be gone.
Get ready. The table is spread. Get ready. Almost time to break bread, to celebrate the marriage of the bridegroom to the bride. All our loved ones gather round us with Jesus to ever abide. Get ready.
My Lord, have mercy.
Oh, get ready. Oh, get ready. Can you feel?
Can you feel it tonight? Can you feel it this afternoon?
Can you hear?
Do you have a ear? Those who have ears to hear.
Can you see? Get ready.
It's over.